Hey everyone, I have a story for you. It's a true story. Happened yesterday. I call it the tale of the perfect pancake. Here's what happened. So I wake up, and usually I don't have much time to make breakfast, which is a tragedy because breakfast, specifically brunch, is the best meal of the day. But I usually don't have time, and so when I cook something, I'll put the stove on high, 7, 8, or 9. And so it cooks fast, and then I'm out the door. But now, with some more time on my hands, I decided I'm going to make pancakes, which are the best, and I'm going to put the stove on 4, which is, for me, absurdly low. That takes way too long. But I discovered that actually, when you take your time and you cook, the food tastes much better. Shocker, right? So here's the pancake I made. Probably the best pancake I've ever made in my life, and I even labeled it the tale of the perfect pancake because I knew I would tell someone about it, and apparently I'm telling all of you about it. So it was delicious, it was fluffy, it was beautiful, and it only happened because of this trial that's happening. That's forcing us to have most of us to have more time on our hands, keep our distance from each other for a little while. Um, it's a trial, and I'm not trying to downplay the trial at all, but the Bible talks quite a bit about trials. James, the half brother of Jesus, in a book called James, chapter 1, verses 2 to 4, he says, "Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing." So James is speaking to Jewish believers that are scattered. Persecution had happened, and they were scattered. And the people of God have been used to being scattered before. And today we find ourselves in a situation where technically we are also scattered. We're not able to meet together as the church to keep distance from each other, and so we're scattered. And when the Bible talks about believers, people of God being scattered, it says scattered but never lost. And hopefully we won't be scattered for too long. But here's what James says about how you respond to trials. He says, respond with joy when various different kinds of trials come your way. If you're like me, you don't tend to respond with joy when a trial or an obstacle happens. If you're like me, you tend to immediately respond with unease and complaining and sighing and groaning and wanting the thing to pass, not having joy in that trial. But he wants us to have joy, to know that God is always working on us. He's always developing in us a patient endurance if we approach and respond the way that he wants us to various different kinds of trials. He wants us to mature. Impatient people are often very immature, right? Immature people tend to be impatient. Mature people tend to be patient and to persevere and to persist. It says in Hebrews 6:12, "Be followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises." Right? We read about people like Abraham and Joseph and Ruth and David that had this time and just lives that had so many obstacles that they had to be patient through and trust God and trust his promises and persevere. And God wants us to persevere as well, to grow what matters, our faith, our character, our patience, that we may be perfect and complete, those words that have to do with maturity and wholeness. He wants us to become whole, become the kinds of people that he's created us to be mature. And so we can approach this trial, like any other trial thrown our way, with joy, with real joy, knowing that God is working and that he's showing us that our faith is real, that it's genuine, and that the outcome of this faith is salvation. So we can have joy. Think of those golden pancakes, right? Because one of the ingredients in a life of maturity is going to be trials. It's one of the ingredients that just forces us to have patience and to grow up. It's one of the ingredients to those fluffy, beautiful, delicious pancakes. So hang in there. Keep looking to Jesus, the author, the finisher of our faith, and maybe make some golden, beautiful, delicious pancakes and tell me about it.